Hi, my name is Kevin,
And I'm Jomar.
and today you are going to learn a lesson about how to calculate missing angles and sidelines. Okay, this is how to calculate missing sidelines. In this example of a rectangle, this sideline equals 4 centimeters, and this sideline equals 2 centimeters. Now how would you figure out the length of these two sides?
These signs indicate that these two sides are parallel. So this side would be 4 centimeters, and this side would be 2 centimeters.
Now remember that all parallel sidelines in rectangles and squares are equal. This is how to calculate sidelines of similar shapes. So in this example of two rectangles, this sideline equals 1 centimeter, and this sideline equals 2 centimeters. So the ratio in this would be 1 to 2. And 1 times 2 equals 2. So when you multiply this sideline by 2, you get the equivalent of this sideline. Now, this sideline equals 2 centimeters, but in this rectangle, you don't know what the sideline equals to, so we put question mark. To calculate the sideline, since we know that 1 times 2 equals 2, so then you would have to multiply 2 centimeters by 2 to get the other shaped sideline. So 2 times 2 equals 4. So the result in this equation would be 4 centimeters.
The Pythagorean theorem is named after the Greek philosopher and mathematician Pythagorean. He stated that the area of the largest square drawn on the hypotenuse is equal to the area of the two other squares drawn on the other side. The hypotenuse of a triangle is the longest side of the triangle. Pythagorean theorem only applies to all right-angled triangles. The formula for the Pythagorean theorem is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. A squared and b squared are the two shortest sides of the triangle. C squared is the hypotenuse of the triangle. As we said before, the formula for the Pythagorean theorem is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So here's a sample problem. So first, what you want to do would be to replace all the values into the formula. So c squared would equal 3 squared plus 4 squared. Now you solve the powers. So c squared would equal 9 plus 16. And that would equal to 25. Now, since this is c squared, what you want to do, you would want to square root it. And since we square root one side, we do onto the other. So c would equal 5. So now, the hypotenuse of the triangle is 5. The Pythagorean theorem can also be rearranged to find other sides of the triangle. So since the formula is c squared equals a squared plus b squared, what you want to do would be to find b squared. So first, you would replace all the values into the formula. So it will be 5 squared equals 3 squared plus b squared. Now you find out the powers. So the equation would now be 25 equals 9 plus b squared. Now from this, you move the 9 over to the other side. So 25 take away 9 equals b squared. So now you subtract 25 with 9, and you'll get 16. And now, same thing like the other equation, you square root both sides, and that will give you 4. So b squared equals 4.
Okay, this is how to calculate missing angles. Now, there are several different ways of how to calculate missing angles. One of the ways is called the alternate angle theorem. That is also known as the Z-pattern. In this example, this angle is equal to 30 degrees. Now, in the alternate angle theory, this angle would also equal to 30 degrees. This is because, as you see, this is a Z shape. The two endpoints of the Z shape are always equal. Another way of calculating missing angles is using the opposite angle theory. Now, the opposite angle theory is really simple. It states that opposite angles are equal. So if this angle is equal to 130 degrees, since this is the opposite angle, this would also equal to 130 degrees. Now, another way of calculating missing angles is the supplementary angle theory. Now, since this is a straight line, to find this angle, you must subtract 180 by 130. This is because a straight line always equals 180 degrees. So 180 minus 130 equals 50 degrees. And now let's go back to the opposite angle theory. Since this angle equals to 50 degrees, we'll use the opposite angle, and this angle would also equal to 50 degrees. Another way to calculate missing angles is called the co-interior theory. Co-interior is also known as the Pythagorean. So as you can see here, this is a truth. That would mean that this angle and this angle would equal to 180 for both of them. If this angle is 40 degrees, this angle would equal 140 degrees. This is because 140 plus 40 equals 180. And co-interior angles always equal 180. Another way to calculate missing angles is the corresponding theory. Corresponding is also known as the F pattern. So as you can see here, this is a map. This means that this angle over here and this angle over here will be equal. So if this angle is 40 degrees, this angle would also equal 40 degrees. So also on this side. Now since a straight line equals 180 degrees, this angle theoretically equals 140 degrees. And now we'll see the corresponding pattern to find this angle. So since this is an S pattern, since this equals 140 degrees, this angle would also equal 140 degrees theoretically. Alright, this is how to find the exterior angle of a triangle. So, one thing you must know is that the two opposite interior angles of an exterior angle are equal. So say this was 1, for example, and this was 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2, so that would mean that the exterior angle is 2. Now let's use this example for it. This angle equals 20 degrees, and this angle equals 60 degrees. 60 plus 20 equals 80 degrees. So the exterior angle of this triangle would equal 80 degrees. Now let's go one step further and calculate this interior angle. Now there are two ways of doing it. One is by subtracting 180 by 80, or you can subtract 180 by 80 again by using these two angles as bases. So either way, you will get 100 degrees for this angle. This is how to calculate exterior angles of a triangle. Okay, another way to calculate missing angles is to find the equivalent of both of an equation. So in this equation, this exterior angle equals 3x plus 6. So these two interior angles equal 30 degrees and x. To find f, which is an angle degree, you would have to put both of these values in an equation. So 3x plus 6 equals 30x. So now you have to bring the x to one side and bring the 6 to the other side. So when you bring x to the other side, since this x is positive, it would now be a negative on the other side. So now when we rewrite the equation, there would be 2x because 3x minus x equals 2x. And then when we bring positive 6 to the other side, it will be negative 6. So 30 minus 6 equals 24. Now, when you divide both sides by 2, so we can isolate x, you find that x equals 12. So then, you can replace this variable with 12, and you can start solving this side. So 12 plus 30 equals 42. Now to solve this, we must know that all the angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So 180 minus 42 equals 138 degrees. You can also solve this angle by using this equation also. So what you would do is substitute x as 12, and you multiply it by 3, which is 36, then plus 6 equals 42, and then you subtract 180 by 42, and you get 138.
This is how to solve the sum of all interior angles of a polygon. So the formula to solving would be 180 n minus 2. So since there are 6 sides to a hexagon, 180, it would be 186 take away 2. So now that would give you 180 times 4. That would give you a sum of 720. So the sum of all the angles in the polygon is 720. So now, to find the angle of each, you would have to divide 720 by how many angles there are. And that would be 6. And that would give you a total of 120. So each angle equals 120.
Okay, this is how to calculate the exterior angle of any polygon. In this example, we had a hexagon. But before we get into that, let's go over the formula to calculate an exterior angle of any polygon. The formula is 360 over n. N is the number of sides in the polygon. So let's use this hexagon in our example. The formula would be 360 over 6, and that's because the hexagon has 6 sides. So when we divide 360 by 6, you will then get 60. So that means each angle that is an exterior angle of the shape is equal to 60 degrees.
Sample problem number 1. Okay, so as you may remember before, these signs indicate that parallel side lengths are equal. So this side length would be equal to this side length. So let's try to solve this side length. Since this is 2 centimeters, this side length would also equal 2 centimeters. And we know that these two side lengths are equal, so this side length would also be 1.5 centimeters. Now, let's move on to this rectangle. this side length equals 6 centimeters, and it's also parallel to this side length. So this side length will also equal 6 centimeters. Now, we are going to try and solve these two side lengths. Now, since we don't know the measure of any of these two side lengths, what we have to do is come up with a proportion. So the proportion we will use is 2 to 6, and this is because these two rectangles are similar, so we can use this proportion to solve these two side lengths. So first we write down the proportion, which is 2 to 6, and when you divide 6 by 3, you get 2, so use the number 3 to multiply by this side length, which is 1.5, so 1.5 times 3 equals 4.5, and that would be the answer to this side length, 4.5 centimeters. And since these two side lengths are parallel, this side length would also equal 4.5 centimeters. Now we'll try to solve this side length of a triangle. Now, as you may remember before, we must use the Pythagorean theory. It states that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you must remember that it only works on right angle triangles. Right, this is the right angle of this triangle. So let's start. So the RA square in this triangle is 5 meters, and the b square of this triangle, or b, is 12 meters. So let's start with the equation c squared, which is the question mark, equals a squared plus b squared. Now we write c squared and we replace the values, so 5 squared, which is also equal to 25, plus 12 squared, which is also equal to 144. So the sum of c squared would equal 169. But we're not trying to find c squared, we're trying to find c. So what you do is you square root this. So when you find the square root, this sign would cancel out this sign, and you'd be left with c. So what you do is find the square root of this side, and c would equal 13. So this side length, or hypotenuse, of this right angle triangle is equal to 13. And you must also remember to put in the unit, which is meters. Sample problem number 3. Okay, so in this question, you basically have a Z pattern with a missing angle. So we're going to try and solve this missing angle. If you remember the from the near the beginning of the video, we explained the alternate angle theory, or the Z pattern. So it states that two angles that are in a Z pattern and the two interior angles, that they are equal. So this angle here should equal, theoretically, to this angle. So this angle would equal 45 degrees. Sample problem number 4. So in here, we are going to use the opposite angle theory and the supplementary angle theory. So first we'll do the opposite angle theory. So what we have here is 100 degrees. And this is the opposite angle, so this angle would also equal 100 degrees. Now we are going to use the supplementary angle theory, which states that in a straight line, if you subtract 180 by whatever angle you have of that straight line, it would equal to the rest of the straight line, the angle measurement. So 180 minus 100 equals 80 degrees. Now we have 80 degrees for this angle. What you can do is use the supplementary angle theory on this side, or you can use the opposite angle theory. So that's what we'll use. So this angle is 80 degrees, and since this is the opposite angle, this angle will also equal 80 degrees. Sample problem number 5. Now in this question we have the co-interior pattern, or the C pattern. It states that in the C pattern, 180 degrees minus the angle given equals the other angle. So since this angle is 115 degrees, 180 minus 115 equals 65 degrees. So this angle will equal 65 degrees. Sample problem number 6. On this question, we have a missing angle, and we will use the corresponding angle theory to solve this. It states that the two interior angles of an F pattern basically are equal. So it's simple. This angle equals 75 degrees. So this angle will also equal 75 degrees. Because as you can see here, these are the two interior angles of the F pattern. Sample problem number 7. Okay, so in this question, we basically used all the theories we used. And one thing to keep in mind is that there are many different ways to approach this question, and many different order of theories to use. So let's start by using the opposite angle theory. So since these two angles are opposite, this angle and this angle is 65 degrees, so this angle will also equal 65 degrees. Now when you use the supplementary angle theory, 180 minus 65 equals 115. And when you use the opposite angle theory again, this angle is equal to this angle, so this angle would be 115 degrees. Now, to solve this angle, you can either use the alternate angle theory using this angle, because this is the Z pattern, or you can use the co-interior angle theory, which is the C pattern. So we'll use the co-interior angle theory. So 180 minus 115 equals 65 degrees. And now, for this angle, we can do the supplementary angle theory, but we'll use the corresponding theory, which is the F pattern. So 180, so since we're using the corresponding angle theory, this angle will equal to this angle, so 115 degrees. And we can use, we will use the alternate angle theory to figure out this angle measurement. So in the Z pattern, these two interior angles are equal. So this angle is equal to this angle, which makes this angle 115 degrees. And now we will use the opposite angle theory to find this last angle measurement, which is 65 degrees. Sample problem number 8. We are going to try and solve this angle and this angle using what is called the exterior angle theory and a known theory that we went by before, which is the supplementary theory. But first we must use the exterior angle theory of a triangle. So what we have here is a 90-degree angle, which is a right angle, and this is 50 degrees. So as we mentioned before in the video, this exterior angle of the triangle is equal to this angle and this angle. So 50 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to 140 degrees. So this angle will be equal to 140 degrees. Now, one thing I didn't mention before is to solve this next angle, we can use the supplementary angle theory, or we can use the simple theory, which is that all triangles contain 3 angles that are equal to 180 degrees. So all you'd have to do is subtract 180 by these two angle measurements, but it will result in the same way as if we use the supplementary angle theory. So we'll use the supplementary angle theory. So 180 minus 140 equals 40 degrees. So this last angle measurement will equal 40 degrees, and this angle measurement is 140 degrees. Sample problem number 9. What this question mark basically means is we're trying to solve all the interior angles of the shape. So to solve all the interior angles, we use the interior angle theory, which is 180 n, or pardon me, 180, and then in brackets n minus 2. So n stands for the number of sides of the shape, so let's substitute the values. 180 and this would equal 5. So 5 minus 2 would be 3. So 180 times 3, which equals 540. So the final result of this question, which is the sum of all the interior angles in this shape, would equal 540 degrees. Sample problem number 10. On this question, we have a decagon, which is a 10-sided shape, and we are trying to solve this side length, or angle measurement. So the formula to calculate an exterior angle is 360 divided by n, where n is once again the number of sides in the shape. So since this is a decagon and it is a 10-sided shape, we substitute n with 10, and the formula would now be 360 divided by 10, and your result would be 36 degrees. So this angle will equal 36 degrees, and this principle also applies to all the other exterior angles. So this angle, pardon the messy line, but theoretically this angle would also equal 36 degrees. And another example is this angle, or just any angle of the any exterior angle of the shape would equal 36 degrees for the decagon. But the main thing to remember is that the main formula for finding an exterior angle is 360 divided by n.
Thanks for watching.